Alright, I think we've got sound back now. This is why you shouldn't move equipment between rooms. Because every time you do, you mess up something that you've forgotten about. And before you know it... Alright. Now I've got to get my software back here. Steve K, spectator. See if this breaks. Yeah, that didn't. Okay, looks like that one's going to be TMC3. Yeah, it's a little eeny weeny. I suppose actually no, it's okay. That should be fine. You just have to add it to our list of windows. Hey Ed, Nicolia. Okay, let's switch back to say. Right, so we've got the power supply. I mean, yeah, whatever. Come on, Paul, wake up, wake up. I'm half asleep. I really am. No, cancel. I'm just going to add in this window capture. That should do the trick. Starting to run out of space. Hey Jan, DefPom, Jim, welcome. Ooh, you've changed MVN. Okay, hope it goes well. Okay, let's see if this thing actually fires up. Yep. Oh, straight away a glitch. Flippin' beautiful. Oh well. No, that's okay. This is 25... Oh wait, no, it looks like I am actually on 2403. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see if I can actually change on the fly. You should be able to change on the fly with Linux. And then restart it. Let's see. Let's update. Looks like there's a fair bunch of updates. Hey, Sam. Inverted screen. Who? What? VLF, I've been having stability issues with it on my other machine, but this one it seems to be pretty good. But this is purely an Intel machine, as in there's no GPU in this, and it's a 8th generation CPU, so I'm able to use the VAPI extensions. Oh, this plays upside down in Australia right now, I get it. Yep, I'm half asleep. I got 2501 yesterday, but I suppose that's just the joy of being in the future. Did it? It's weird. Did it get Open Broadcaster? No, it did not. Sudo apt install OBS Studio. Oh, looks like I'm on a PPA one. Right. This could be fun. I can't remember how to get rid of PPAs. It's funny, you can easily enough put a new PPA in there, but sometimes getting rid of them is hard. Let's see, remove PPA Ubuntu. Yeah, except you gotta know. Oh man. Let's see, Ubuntu software. Yeah, this is Linux. Yeah, that's weird. It's actually not even supposed to. No, but I've got a million of them here. Close. Oh, come along now. Hurry up already. Killing me waiting around. Hello. Nope. Yeah, well, we'll just get on with the job. I've got a phone to fix, so let's go back to overhead. I was just about to get started streaming and this one turned up, so I figured I'd get it out of the way so it doesn't plague me. Make some money. Let's see, iPhone 8, black screen. Let's see, what new stock? Let's see, stock. We've got white, that's no good. I want black. Oh shoot. Damn thing's got a bend in it. It's an iPhone 8 screen. That's bad news. That's real bad news. I'll see what I can do, but I do not like the way. Fortunately, it's a bend inwards, so we'll put the screen under compression rather than tension. But it's still not good. You copy buff volt variable to buff current. You didn't change it. Yeah, I'll have a look at that then. It's entirely possible I did. At 2:30 in the morning, it's very easy to do mistakes like that. Let's see if you're right. These are not programming glasses. buff current, buff current. For the okay, volt, 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 volt. There we go. That one there is just for the error message, so it's not a big problem, but we will change that. But it could still be elsewhere in other things. Explains why it only showed up on one. Ah, there we go. Oh no, but that's the same thing. No, in this case, that looks like all it was doing is for the error condition. It wasn't actually for the one where it really does transfer the data in. Because this is where the data actually gets put in, and that is going to current for current. And likewise up here. Likewise up here, likewise up here. Yeah, going volt for volt there. So no, it seems like no, that was just for simply for the error condition ones, which really wasn't a problem. I mean, it did need to be fixed, but that I don't believe is going to be a problem. Alright, I'll have another look. You want to? The source code is up on GitHub now. But we were also getting glitches. Okay, none of this here should matter. So volt, volt, reading into volts, setting the volts. Another customer?
Are we able to look up Johnny Boyd's phone number?
Oh.
The dog's just got into his chook and ripped it up.
Oh no.
I don't know if it's still alive. I don't know whether to go over there or whether to try and call him.
I'd certainly try to call him.
How do I find his number?
Wouldn't your parents know? I don't know. Yeah, just give me a second. I really don't know, but I'll try to find out.
They were ripping up and I yelled at them and they ran off.
He yelled at him.
I yelled
Oh,
at them.
okay. Yeah, if you get near that dog, it will attack you.
Yeah.
I thought it was in someone's phone book around here.
Well, I'll ask Mum, but it's been many, many years.
Try Jeff.
Right, do we know Jeff's number?
The Brins. Again, I thought that was a number that was listed. Ah, jeez, come on, where are you? Cambridge. $11.54. The Brins are 11.54.
11.54.
Yeah, 4787, 11.54. Neighbours' chooks have been shredded by a dog, but obviously we don't want to get into that fight because the dog will turn on us. But we also, yeah, unfortunately it's a little too common around here, roaming dogs getting into people's poultry and stuff like that. It's not good. People do not restrain their dogs. Anyway, the volts. I can't find anything. So current goes into current. Gets read into current. No, I can't see anything at all there. Yeah, I'll sort that out and it gets interesting when you can't find the phone numbers for people anymore. And being an older person, they certainly are not. Well, in this particular case, they're not on the internet that I'm aware of. So we couldn't just Facebook message them. But we do know their neighbours, so we're able to. I mean, technically we're also the neighbours, but we're at the wrong end of the property. This is why I spend a lot on fencing, because it's exactly the sort of thing that happens around here. This has been crashed. It's not good. See how the cover slip here, the black plastic foil, it's been all like crushed in. Sort of indicates how this must have suffered quite an event. So what I'm going to do is take the screen off, but I'm also going to just plug in a quick test one, because I have a feeling that this main board is probably cactus. There's something going on there too. Because to get that sort of bend in an iPhone 8 or iPhone 7 chassis requires quite a bit of force, and it probably overbent relative to that quite a distance. You can see even the battery is... Is that a burn mark or is that just junk? It's like grit or something got in there. Hey Pedro. Interesting, it's like it's been repaired before. Because we've got glass sitting in here. Yep, someone's messaged me. Ooh. For a Saturday, it's busy. Nice. Yeah, and the either it's been repaired before, or it was just beaten up a heck of a lot. The screen does look original though. Gotta sneeze. Sorry. Ahmed, yeah, I don't really have a major problem with testing like this. If it has got a hard short, then it's not going to make any difference. Get in. Oh, duh, wrong one, Paul. No wonder it wouldn't fit. Yeah, that ain't coming up. Where's my iPhone cable? Okay, it looks like the battery was just extremely flat. That's coming up. So we'll stick that aside. Maybe... Yeah, we'll stick that aside, give it a chance to charge up before I decide to commit to changing the whole screen. We'll get on with the original job that all this was meant to be. I can sneeze anywhere I want around here. The workshop gets sterilized plenty enough. Okay. This was a spudge victim. Hopefully we can fix this up. I think it's over here. Yep, there's our spudge victim. Alright. Let's hope I got the right chips. Hey Michael. Foliate 540. Yes, telling me to... In public I do sneeze more appropriately. But this is in virtue. So unless I trigger your McAfee, I should be okay. Hey Christian. Yeah, YouTube being YouTube. crazy, the sun's too bright in here. I had to set my power supply up to a much higher display brightness. That's why I like the vacuum fluorescent displays. They're such good displays to have for equipment. But nope, everybody's switching over to these TFT or IPS panels. It's not really for me. Hey Margarita, I don't do any editing. No. Happy. By the way, happy birthday, Logan. I don't think I can save these traces properly. Seems better off for me to cut them off clean and go from there. So it looks like those two should just go to there. It shouldn't be a problem. Hey ITCX, what the? Ed, yep. Snooze you lose type scenarios. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's fine. Yep. So we're just gonna trim and clean. Yeah, Joshua, I was actually planning on buying that one, but certain things came up, and instead a Dyson Animal was purchased, and then this one came up, and so I was happy enough with my compromise. Hey Rafael. Yep, the anxious nose itch. There's no point trying to fold these flat anymore because they're too damaged. You try to put solder onto them and it'll just break off. Thankfully they didn't rip this via here. That would have been a little bit aggravating. Hey, had to go. What's up?
He doesn't have a landline anymore.
Oh.
Anyway, I called the Rangers.
Yeah.
So, but I've got to go stand on Cambridge Street to show them where it is. Mum's going to keep an eye out for your customer, and then
right, okay.
and then she'll come and tell you.
Okay, well, you going to drive the car around there?
Yeah, I might drive.
Yeah, drive the car around.
Thank you.
It's okay. You got your phone?
I'll get my phone.
Right, okay. Trying to decide whether I should just run the wires from the capacitor end caps or from the traces. If I'm going to run from the traces, I think I'll do one first and then I'll probably do the other one further down, just so they're offset, so there's no risk of bumping into each other. Yeah, she'll be on the outside of the property, so she won't be near the dog. And yes, with the car there, that's the extra protection. Okay, so we've got 3 veers that we have to sort out. This one here is not probably going to be a major issue, and there's nice 4 little stumps there, so they'll be easy to get a hold of anyway. Let's see. The usual wire that I use, that reminds me, I could have sworn I've had incoming wire that was tinned but not enameled. But then maybe I just dreamt that I was actually ordering that. You know, sometimes you get onto eBay and you think, I'm going to order that, but then you actually don't. And a few weeks later you go, I think I ordered that, but you never did. Hey, Brian Sutherland. Michael, this is a classic sort of spudger accident when trying to open up these laptops. This wire is a bit too thick for the task. As much as I would like to use it, it is just a little bit too thick. So we're going to go for my Litz wire, which is about half the thickness, but not as thin as the fingerprint touch repair wire. Yeah. Now the only thing is I do have to pre-tin it. Alright, we'll get that pre-tinned, find our little bracket. Why is it warm in here? Yeah, I mean, I do. Getting enamel wire is easy, but what I was actually after from eBay was pre-tinned wire. So it's just a spool. It's like the stuff that is in the high flex silicon wire that I've got, but it's slightly thinner. That's why I wanted it. Damn it, I've got the sniffles. How can I have the sniff? Bloody sniffles. So I wonder whether I can get some balls on that or not. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to. And I have a feeling I've actually just loaded up the wrong soldering tip. I really need the micro soldering tip. Yeah, all devices do get alcoholed. You people think I don't clean the stuff before it comes in here? Just because you don't see me do it on stream doesn't mean I haven't done it. So I'm wearing gloves all the way through the workshop. I clean the door handle every time someone comes and goes. Believe me, I'm doing it. I got the sniffles because there's hay fever issues around here. But I don't want to take an antihistamine. Because they do have a little bit of an impact on my liver. Or at least it feels like it sometimes. God damn it. Seriously, everything just... What? Are you kidding me? You just want to get snared? Don't make me rage. The length of solder that I'm using here, it was just getting snared. It was the perfect length to get snared at the end of the circuit board. Yeah, these are going to be tricky blighters. But I don't want to rub on them too much, because they'll just drive them further down into the board. I wish isopropylene was worth more than gold, I really do. Because I've got a lot of it here. I'm going to see if I can drop some .25s onto them. I have a feeling that they're going to be a little bit too big no matter what. Actually, instead of .25s, I'm just going to use paste. Hey Tony. What the hell? Why is that gone all crusty on me? Is this flux decided to go bad on me now? Yeah, Jane, I've seen some pretty scary, yeah, that was not a good idea, Fold. That's okay, these will randomly coalesce onto something. Let me just shove a few back to where I want them to go. Around about there. And about there. This is a little bit painstaking and annoying and slow, but you want to try and get it right the first time. I actually use both, Jonathan. I use ethyl and isopropylene. Depends on what I'm working on. And sometimes it depends what bottle I happen to grab. Yeah, I'm hoping these two are fixed in. It's a little precarious, but they're just there. Now for the far more precarious part. Trying to build a base out of them. If I can even get the wire to hold steady. Here's my knife. And let's hopefully we do not torque, as in TORQ. Yeah, I can see already. As soon as I tried to move that, it started ripping it from the stump. Maybe I should have used I do marvel at the people that you see in videos who can make those lovely little spiral pads on iPhone 10s and things like that. Because I have not had any luck trying to do that. I just need more practice. Doesn't stop me marveling at them. Oops, forgot to put my heat pad down. Where's my heat pad? And where did my wire go? Damn it. Congratulations, I just lost my wire. Yeah, maybe we will try the touchpad 0.02 stuff. Why not? If I can even find the start of it. I haven't received an email from Craig yet. I suspect he's probably just sorting out some other things first. But I am aware that he was gonna... I gave him my email address, so from there it's up to him. Crud. God damn, that's delicate. You're just talking right off there. You aren't even connected. So I'm gonna have to dig a little and get a bit more of that stump exposed. And I really need to put a new blade on the knife, because the tip's broken off that one, and without that tip I can't really do a clean job. I mean, if I was more skilled at it, I probably could. I wouldn't have to keep blaming my tools. But for now, since I'm on a low skill set, I'll continue to blame my tools. Ah, I've got 2 blades though. Thanks, Travis. Okay, see, with a tip you can actually get in and around that stump without affecting the stump. Gotta be careful though, easy enough to just have stuff come clean off. Okay, we'll try that now. No shutting down going on here, Tony. Not with me. Oh man, that wasn't even close. That wasn't even remotely good at all. I could always see where that comes from and try and run a trace, but I have a horrible feeling it's probably one of those ones that comes straight from the CPU or something like that. Or the point where they come up is way off somewhere else on the board. Okay, what's going on? My phone's vibrating? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the pad's toying with me. I gotta be sweet and delicate, otherwise it's gonna run away from me and yeah, just break it off with me. Okay, I think it's a little... No, still not. Jeez. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll first cut it off around about here. And that's not even remotely connected. Oop, there goes that piece of wire. It seemed a little more secure now. Can't believe I lost my wire. Are you my wire? Nope, it's a hair. I'll learn to do better than this. Hey, John Bigman. Yeah, well, you know, fighting with MacBooks. It's a good life. Oh, I just yanked that one in. I think I can pretty much leave that one there. I will trim this off later, because right now I don't want to push my luck too much. Okay, one down, a billion to go. I'm guessing this must be an NC, that or it's a ground, but it looks like an NC to me. If I knew what the board number was, that would help. What are you? 239. Wrong. Okay, according to the board view, that is indeed an NC, so there's no dramas. Let's see, what the hell are those two? A ground? I wasted my time on ground? Wow, what a waste. But that top one, yeah, okay, there is a pad on the other side if things go bad, so it's not too out of control. I can't believe I wasted my time on two grounds. I could have just scratched off the edge and flooded. It is curious that they haven't actually brought in the flood into here, but oh well, at least we know this is an NC, so we don't have to care. But everything else we need to start connecting up. Good practice, huh? Sure. I really don't need to be wearing these glasses. Under the microscope it's not required. Just trying to think what trace to attack next. Oh, sorry. There we go. Yeah, I know there's enamel in there. I'll worry about that a little bit later. This is 0.02 millimeter. Cecilia, I'm not sure how much they are, to be honest. That was sent to me by Jim. So I have to prepare some more wire. Yes, a gift, that's correct, Cecilia. Damn it. The wire keeps just getting onto the wrong part of my tweezers. Just when I'm preparing to solder it, tack it down, it changes its mind about being tacked down. Okay. There's actually not quite enough solder on that point. Oh, soldable, that's convenient actually. Yep, that did the job. You really don't need a lot of solder to get these things to stick down, but obviously it doesn't have a lot of strength either. I really need another pair of these tweezers. I do have another pair, but I've been too lazy to get them. The lethal one, it was someone else. They did a screen replacement, and when they did that, well, yeah, you know how it happens. The overly long spudger insertion as it's dragged across the board. I know Paul S. loves doing these. If Paul S. had a choice, he'd be flying over here right now to shove this out of my hands and do it himself. Oh, and hello, Lethal One, yes. John Bigman, it's actually not as hard as it seems once you're under the microscope. With the microscope, you get the hand-eye feedback loop, and it is still tedious, I'll definitely say that, but it's not as bad as you imagine it to be. Yeah, Paul S. is a machine of godly status. Which is interesting to think that he was actually just a YouTube fan quite a while, and then the opportunity came up and Lewis hired him, and it turned out well. And then Lewis said, hey, this is great, so he tried doing that again, and it didn't turn out quite so well with some others. Hey babe. Okay, what's the situation?
So the bird's okay.
Sorry?
The bird's okay.
Oh.
Fortunately, I chased him off in time.
Okay, good.
And the ranger went around and I got her to have a look at the state of the birds.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything she can do about it because birds are pretty...
Yeah, very, very...
Like you can do whatever the hell you want with
Yeah, yeah.
because they're meat birds.
Yep.
But she said she would look into it for me, so
Yeah.
I wanted her to see the birds.
Yeah, there's really very little that they... I know, they've got almost no power with that.
Right. So, but hopefully, I know Johnny was not happy about the rangers coming over, and it's like, well, too bad.
Yeah.
But hopefully, he was saying he wants to get rid of them all because he's getting too old.
Oh, he's over there now.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
over there. So, hopefully he's just fed up with it.
Yeah.
Thing. But yeah, he said he's going to kill a whole bunch of them.
Great.
Yeah.
It's, did you ask him he's selling his land?
I should have,
Yeah, it would have been an opportunity.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to muddy the water.
Yeah,
with
fair enough,
everything
yeah.
that was going on.
Yeah, because it'd be nice, pick up this and then go to the bank the next day and say, we actually want the other piece as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he said he's getting too old for it.
Not
so
surprised.
I'm hoping he does not keep any more chooks.
Yeah.
They're kept in a tiny...
I know. I was horrified when I first saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was years ago. Yeah.
And I told her that he pulls out their feathers, which you're not supposed to. And he's like, oh, they don't grow back. He's like, they do grow back.
Yeah, that's why you're pulling them out all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
So my biggest fear now is for the dogs because they're going to contact, because we saw that it was the neighbours' dogs.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Aboriginals.
Yeah.
And I'm worried because now they're going to approach them, and I'm worried that they might either beat the dogs because they're angry that the rangers came, or put them on a tiny little chain their whole life so that they don't get out anymore.
And naturally, because the dogs become the victim of it all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll save the chook, but yeah, further things yet to come. See, John Bigman, I've nerve damage, scoliosis, and my hands is pretty bad shape. Well, that can be a bit difficult then. Professional engineer, I think it's because I have a stereo view, it does help a fair bit. And yes, it is clearer. Yeah, I mean, obviously optically it's going to be much better than it is on the screen. Which is actually why when people use USB camera and display to work on, it's quite a bit harder to do that. Because you really do not have the clarity, and more to the point, you don't have the instantaneous hand-eye feedback. I mean, obviously what I'm doing under here for me is at the speed of light, but through a webcam, even though it seems fairly quick, it's not quite quick enough. Your body can still pick up that slight delay, which is why ideally you do it all optically. I kind of want a little bit more meat taken off that. When you don't have a barlow on this, when you're just working direct with the objectives and the eyepieces, the 3D effect is quite pronounced. You lose a fair bit of it at 0.7 barlow, and you really lose it all at 0.5. So 0.7 is a good compromise. I don't know how Lewis managed to do his work without the barlow. You really have to angle in your parts, your tools. But, you know, he's used to it, so kudos for doing that. I found I needed 0.7. I just needed that little bit of extra room because I'm not as good as him. Okay, I'm going to rest it about there. And hopefully this will just jump onto that trace and not the soldering iron. Yeah, not quite what I was hoping for. Right, looks like we've got about one to go, I think. Yep, one to go. And it looks like I'm going to need more tinned wire. I also need a bit more solder on that copper trace. Doesn't need to be a lot, but you just certainly do still need it. Yeah, that's a good amount. Armoured, no, they don't hold very much current at all. They'll probably vaporize if you put anything more than 20 milliamp through them. I'm not exactly sure, but these are, I think, about 4 or 3 thou, maybe even 2 thou width. It's just ridiculously thin. Oh, you're kidding me. There's a bit of insulation right there where I want to... You gotta be joking. There we go. F7700 keeps blown on 3437 backlight views, sometimes a 2.2. Have you checked the actual screen to see if it's not shorting out the backlight? I had one of those the other day. And Lewis had one today, too. Different model, but... Yeah, check that the backlight pins, when you plug in the display, see what the resistance to the diode mode is for the backlight. You may be surprised. You may be lucky. Unlucky, actually, because the screen costs... Ow, that's hot. Yeah, confidence a little bit iffy here. Now, ideally, I'd want to green goo those down, just so they don't go drifting. That's not the easiest thing to do because there's all the flux everywhere, and the flux stops the green goo sitting down properly. Yeah, true. I mean, Lewis was an SDA short. But it was still a shorted screen. But you could technically correct. Which is, of course, the best kind of correct. Now I'm just trying to basically dilute the flux as much as possible and suck it up into the paper. You can see the slightly yellowish tinge there. So we are having a bit of success there, and it makes you realise how damn ugly your work is. But hey, yeah, does the job. That's really ugly work. Makes me want to just redo it all. But that would be silly to do, actually. Right, so we're just going to put a couple of dots of green goo down. I might just rinse it one more time. Get out a little dollop of paper. Would it be dangerous to flip the chip over and... I mean, some people do that. I prefer... In this case, it's okay to... You know, we can actually put it back down where it was. But certainly, I mean, some people do flip the chip But you still have to get to these nubs and all that sort of stuff, so it doesn't really gain you anything at the end of the day. Okay, let's get my green goo. Are you able to do data recovery on iPhone that's water damage? Friend needs data off, doesn't care about the phone. Yes. Which phone is it? An iPhone 6, 7? There are people far better at that job than I am, but yes, I do it. And what basically happens is if I look at it and I go, no, this one's beyond me, like maybe it requires a CPU RAM board swap, in which case then I hand it off to someone who does that. But a lot of the cases are usually ones that I can sort out here. One more piece of wire. What? Tony, what? There's no more piece of wire required. We've got an NC pad and that's it. Tony's making lies up. Do not flood into, you mangy little bastards. Okay, as long as it doesn't flood in there, I'll be fine. This one with the enamel in it, that's bothering me a little bit, but I'm going to have to just let it go. And it's kind of fortunate that I did leave that little stump on this one, because that is an actual signal line. And so by having a stump on it there, I can just tack it. Damn it, now it's flooding in there. Whereas the others are ground, so we're not going to cry too much. Oh yeah, I saw Lewis's conformal coating nightmare. His obsession with using that laser, UV laser, is half of his problem, I suspect. Certainly if you've got a small dot of the stuff, then the laser's very quick to set it for you. But if you have a large area, then you really do want a torch. Or some good old Australian sunshine. Okay. Alright, we're just UV curing that. Oh, that phone that we were looking at before, we need to go up to 77%. Well, at least we know that charge is okay. So we'll have to switch back to the phone so that the person can get that back, because they've got to go to work at some point. Where is it? I would say UV lamp is better for most of the times that we need to use it, because we usually do have a larger area that we need to cover. Like I said, laser is great if you've got a small area that you want to quickly do, or you've got a thick... That's the other thing, is you've got to be careful you don't lay the stuff on too thick. Because what tends to happen is that it forms a crust on the outside, which then inhibits the UV from getting through, which means that the inside tends to stay all squishy. And it's not so good. It doesn't work so well when it's all squishy. There's always this sort of wet surface on it though. I never quite know how to stop that. It just seems to be what it is. Something going on next door. See if I can scratch any of this. I am just asking for trouble doing that. I'm just gonna have to leave it and accept that that enamel's gonna be stuck there. I've got all the rest of the pad there to make contact. I guess I should try and put that chip down. The chip, oops, smashed my camera, that's not good, that's an expensive camera. The chip that I put down here eons ago and now I've lost it. Not much chance of finding that one. I shouldn't have put it there in the first place. It's okay, we'll get another one. Chris Long's got a UV lamp like that. There's the USB ones that it just looks like a car headlamp with wire coming out the back, and you just drop it over the top of it. Pin 1 is away from the RAM. So this is where we're going to sit. About there. Now, none of those wires have any solder on them, so I'm actually going to have to solder this so that when I put it down, there's something to grab onto the pads. I don't want too much on there. Yeah, it looks good. This little one's a problem, it's just got a bit of crust on it. Yeah, that looks good. And the nice thing is it's already fluxed up. Actually, that kind of sounds wrong. Yeah, we moved a wire. Accidentally twisted this one somehow. Here we go. Hopefully we don't botch this up. It's a bit of work. I'm going to use a lower temperature and airspeed. I'm going to do some iPhone level stuff. And let us hope and pray that it doesn't jump around. We don't want any crisscrossing around here. Looks like it did the job. I'm just going to now... this is going to be fun. One second, I'll just drop in a little bit of solder on the pads. Just to fillet them up. This may prove to be a terrible idea. No, I probably won't conformal coat the chip afterwards. I think I'll be a bit too much. Everyone's been a bit reluctant to catch. It's because it's got the damn conformal coat in it. Okay, that finally grabbed. My only real concerned one is this corner one. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that. I might just have to leave it be. Alright, I'm just going to put this aside and get this phone fixed, and then I can come back and add all the small parts that have got to go around it. Right, phone repair. Now I do need my glasses. I mean, yes, you're right. It would be susceptible to vibration and such, but in a way, oh, there's that chip. There's the one that I thought I'd lost. So I'm going to put that back into the case because I know it's a good one. I think it went in there. Yep, it did. Hey, they're about $5 a piece. Of course I'm going to try and reclaim that. There's my tool. Seriously, tool, where do you get to? There you are. One of those days. Now the phone just needs a new screen. Man, this person's lucky the home button. It could still be damaged, but if it is, it's got a tear on the flex. Guess we'll find out in a few seconds, and I did that in the wrong sequence. I have to do that again now. Right, warm that back up. Microscope. Slide it on out. Yeah, they got damn lucky that they did not kill that. Because the puncture point is right there. Could have easily have gotten the flex. The lucky day. What's this? Lewis freaking about Corona, shuts down affecting and this you should be okay. I mean, yeah, there's a risk, but yeah, there's a risk in many things. You just do the best you can to reduce the risk where you can, and then, well, up to the luck of the draw and the universal statistics. I'm just heating up the adhesive on the bottom of the sensor flex that holds the speaker section to the chassis, to the screen. Just makes it easy to get it off the board. Whatever, I'm not. Slice and dice. Come on, up you come. There we go. Damn it. You need to just stay on there. So stay. Very good. Hopefully I didn't mangle up the little foam ring that they have for the camera. Sometimes it does with the heat. Yeah, it's half and half. It'll still do its purpose. You're stuck on good. I can't put alcohol down because even though that will lift it off, it kills the adhesiveness, and I kind of need that. Almost there. Yep, we got it. $7.91 Coronas in Australia. I mean, they're right that, yeah, people say we shouldn't be complacent about it just because we have more flu deaths in any given year. I mean, that is absolutely true. But still means, you should still take it seriously. On the upside, it's kind of been a bit of a nice sort of forced holiday for the Earth. Wow, that is a crappy screen. Is that your new phone power supply directly display and you've done... Tony, no, that's my multimeter that you can see up there at the moment. I just realised I haven't actually copied the open broadcast. Just give me a second here. Damn you. You do not get to be more adhesive to the tweezers than you do to the glass. There we go. Lovely. So I just realised, so if I want, let's see, overhead, there it is there. Which one are you? So, copy, and microscope. Paste a reference. They're not going to be perfectly aligned. I can do that later. Anyway, there we go. All up and good. We still need to get the back plate off that. I find it amusing that the iPhone 8 tri-wing screws on the back do not match or work with the iPhone. They're not interchangeable with the iPhone 7. They seem to have changed the... I don't know if they've changed the diameter or the pitch of the thread or what. But yeah, they certainly don't work. Okay, let's get this back plate off. So if any of the other techs in here, if you guys ever doubled up on equipment just for the sake of having a fail-safe, if something goes wrong, like I'm seriously considering getting another Quick 61DW. Not because I need to use it, but because I figure if something goes wrong with this one, then I don't want to be waiting a week or two or God knows how long for the new one to arrive. I want it I want it to be there and ready the moment I get going. Yeah, the moment I need it. Common sense isn't going to prevail in this situation with the coronavirus. Damn it. I guess the key is, in order to be prepared for this sort of stuff, you really have to do preparations well in advance of anything even coming up. And I guess that's why preppers do what they do. Because once things get serious, it's all over. And everybody be running around with dirty butts. Tony has spares of stuff. Yeah. I actually gave away a lot of my existing equipment, power supplies, yeah, just all that sort of stuff. Mostly because even if I wanted to, it actually wouldn't do the job I need to be done. So I got rid of that stuff. And I figure in the next couple of months I really should double up on a lot of the things I've got here. The power supply I've got now, I don't need to get another one of those in a hurry. But certainly the hot air station, and probably the Hakko. Oh, damn you, why did you do that? Sorry. Excuse my disappointment in myself here. I thought that I had successfully aligned the flex here, but while I was chit-chatting, it decided to skip town and get itself aligned to the wrong part of the bad part of the town. And because if you let it do that, it all seems fine until you put the screen back down. All of a sudden you get a nice little highlighting bump on your screen, a bit of like a brightness area. That's because of the pressure being put on by that. So I must admit I do cheat at times, and in this sort of case I do occasionally put captain tape down just to retain it enough for me to get it down into the phone where it will be safely held. Yes, I've got a new ultrasonic cleaner, but admittingly I gave away my old one. I do have an iPhone ultrasonic cleaner still. It was my first one, funnily enough. It's only like 1.5 litres. It does the job. Man, you just don't want to play ball today, do you? Normally I don't have this much trouble with them, but this one's definitely decided to be a little bit of a prankster. Do not have children. That's fun things you learn about Paul. Paul doesn't like children. Paul likes animals, his wife, but not children. Children to me, or for me anyway, represent a substantial loss in my opportunities to do what I want to do in life. And I don't mean travel or anything like that. I mean being able to sit down and program or research something, things like that. Or just take away the time that I might want to have for me. That said, the cats do a pretty good job of stealing my time anyway. they're like, "Hey, Daddy, wake up! It's 4:30 in the morning! Yay! We're all gonna have some fun! Yay! Let me just scratch your foot under the covers, and make you scream and jump up in horror as if you've been attacked." So in a way, I suppose you could say I resent children. Hey, Paul Buchanan. I got nothing against people who do have kids, but I'm just not keen on society trying to tell me that I'm supposed to have them. It's like I figure there's enough people out there already with them. I don't need to be contributing to even more consumption on this planet. Okay, let's see if we can get this sucker lined up without too much damage. Okay. Yeah, I know. I really should bond them down, but quite frankly, I've never had the best of luck getting a nice bond in the right place. Ah, you little mongrel, you've skipped out. I can see you. There we go. Tony W, if the kids belong to someone else, even then I'm a bit iffy. If they're old enough to go to school, look after themselves, probably have a job, basically be adults, then maybe I'll consider talking to them. What's going on here? Squish that in. What? You won't achieve anything in your life no matter what you accomplish if you don't have kids. Nah, stuff that. I do not. Nope. That I do not subscribe to. There are plenty of people who have achieved substantial things in history and have not had children. That's the whole fear of missing out and all that sort of stuff and social pressures. I definitely don't go down for that. No thanks. Besides, at some point we're going to have to stop having as many kids as we do. There's no way the planet can take it. But of course, endless growth and capitalism and all that does tend to depend on us constantly breeding and more people. That's going to come to a sudden stop at some point. Like I said, I'm not against people being happy with the fact that they've got kids. I'm all for that. Go for it. But, what? Are you open now? What's required? What are you seeking? Is this Harry Potter? Okay. I just don't really take well to people telling me that I'm doing the wrong thing. It's like, it's my own choice. And I'm old enough to know, yeah, I'm almost 50. Yeah, by now, if I'm going to get the pangs of like, oh, I wish I had children, then I'm pretty sure I would have had it. But then, of course, there's going to be some people who get to 85, 90 maybe, and go, damn, I wish I had kids. That's probably because they're not happy with their nursing home arrangement. As is, half the time, kids end up just being a disappointment relative to what you were personally achieved. You get to your pinnacle and then you think, well, my kids are going to be better than me. And they turn out to be the regression that brings things back to the norm. How many subscribers have I lost now? 20, 30? Hey Paul, nice to see you. You've been occupied the last few days. I've had a fair few streams, but you haven't been around, so I suspect you've been occupied or my timing's been bad. Yeah, Tony, the whole virus thing, yeah. Well, funnily enough, that is kind of true anyway. Yeah. Either that, or we will become our own correction, go the route of Soylent Green, perhaps. I don't know. I do find it interesting that for a lot of those movies, they try to make it that the people become the uprising to overthrow the oppressive government that's been doing all this to them. But the point is that the people got themselves into that mess in the first place, and it had to be done if they wanted to survive. Okay, let's not jam the cable like that. Nice way to blow $50 on a screen or whatever, how much these things cost me these days. Getting a little more expensive with the Australian dollar collapsing. Oh, how did I not get that? Damn it, it's gonna come off. Somehow or another I didn't get that clipped in. That's pretty unusual, actually. Ah, Teresa. Well, the thing is, you can be your own person anyway. Start new. Go from there. In the end, you are your own person. Do what you want, to a degree. Ah, someone picked up the Logan's Run reference. It was a good movie, but yeah, I'm not much of a fan. You get these movies, and I'd like to see one where it actually, in the end, the great uprising gets squashed again because they realise they're being stupid or something like that. Or, they show 20 years after the uprising and everybody's barely alive, starving, got no luxuries, nothing. It's a bit like coming out of the Matrix. Yeah, I'm really with Cypher on that one. It's like, I don't care if it is the Matrix, I'm more than content to live there. You can use me as a energy system or a management system, whatever. I'll take my juicy steak. In time. That's the, with Justin Timberlake in it, I think. Yeah, I have seen that. Tommy, you win the fact that you got acknowledged for it. Okay, well, that phone's fixed. Oh, I hate that. People who stick... Well, it's Apple's fault, really. But the raise to wake thing, the number of times people have lost all their data because of raise to wake. It is a terrible feature. Because when the screen gets smashed and it starts putting in false touch, and they pick it and move it around, it starts trying to put in passcodes, and it's wrong. Now what have I got? Need an iPhone 6 to play some in towers. Oh, right, yes, drop around. Yes. Yes, drop. it over. My goodness, starting to sound like John Cleese then. Yes, yes. All right. Ow. Okay, now we've got to put those little caps and stuff back on here that we couldn't find. I'm going to have to find out what they are from other boards, because I do not have one of these boards to use. So we've got 3 big chunky ones and a little one. Hey, Carl from Tahiti. I don't think we've ever had anyone from Tahiti before, have we? Welcome. Okay, so this one here, seed, whatever you are. Okay, so you're a general decoupling, 22 microfarad, 10 volt, 603. Oh, nice, 603. That is a big chunky one indeed. To think I used to start out with 805 or 0805 parts when I was first manufacturing, and I thought that was bad enough in terms of trying to handle the tiny little pieces. We've got another 2210. Let me guess, you're a 2210. Yeah, you're a 2210 as well. Oh, but you're already there. What about you? Okay, they're all 22 microfarad, 10 volt. So we're going to find out what board has those for us in bulk. Find a part. 22 microfarad, 10 volt, 603. And let the searching begin. Hey, buenos dos. Don't live alone without kids. Don't miss the joy of them and your grandchildren. Yeah. I'll stick to my animal rescue services. Some people feel like that, yeah, some people do need their children, things like that. Some of us just do not. It is not something that's in my brain. I've never had that inclination no matter what. Let's see. I have none of those boards. I mean, I've got plenty of iPhone 6s and stuff. Well, Tom, I guess that's a little bit different because you're having, you know, regeneration of social interaction as opposed to strictly children. Hey, German Vargas. Okay, it reckons the iPhone 6 has them. Where? $16.48. Oh, that one under there. Oh god, no, that's a terrible place to get it. You got any more? Nope, do not have any more. Oh. 5C. C2329. Okay. C329. Where are you? Okay. I should have a million of those. Yes, yeah. Well, yeah, I can see it there. So that's one. I don't know if this is a C or a... that's a C, and I think that's a 5S, but it looks like they both got the same cap though anyway. Where did I go the rest of my units? Okay, should be the 3 we need. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it depends. It is a big cap, and yes, you should replace it, but if you compare it to, say, perhaps proportionally, maybe it doesn't seem so bad, because they had about 5 or 6 others on there. Anyway, we're replacing it regardless. So, and it seems like we've got the same structure. Whether it's the 5C or the 5S, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Yep, someone forgot to prepare the pads again. One day I'll learn not. I think we're back up now. I think we're back up. My tip is stuck. Okay. It's been silly, Paul. Switch over to the JSO2. Still framey. As far as OBS is concerned, I'm pushing out at 30 frames per second now. So maybe give it a refresh, it might come good for you. Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's showing up okay here. Oh, okay. Maybe you're not. See how that goes now. Ah, no, 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 don't do that. I hate it when you get a part that goes rogue and you've got to try and get it off your soldering tip. There's just a little too much solder overall on that. But, yeah, I'm kind of stuck with that now. I'm also wanting to not heat up that chip too much more. So I'm just going to partially shield it. Is that damaged? It's just goo. Oh, human hair burning. Always lovely. Hey,
There's a lady here.
is she dropping off or picking up?
Oh, I didn't ask, so.
Okay, she's probably... If she's picking up, it's that one I was telling you about earlier. It's
It's a
in...
different route to the close.
Okay, she's dropping off then. She just wants the screen replaced.
Oh, okay, so I just get grabbed with it.
Yeah, just grab it off her. Oh, there's goddamn junk got on the... We'll clean it up a little bit. Right, this one's going to be tricky, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what my approach is going to be on this. There's no point in me really doing any sort of wiring or anything under there. We're just going to want the solder from the end cap of the cap, like these uselessly fat, big, useless bumps, to sit under there and make contact with it. It's not going to be ideal, but it's better than nothing. Damn, why does that look like an inductor? You better check it's not an inductor. No, it's just a very blackish looking cap.
So she just wants to know how long, because I said he uses it about an hour. I said, or she said she can't do an hour. She said she can probably wait around for half an hour.
Yeah, alright. Tell her to come back when she needs to go, and if it's done, then it's done. Otherwise, yeah, she'll have to wait. So, Yeah, I'll try squeeze it in the next half hour. Okay. So we're not going to get to the finish line too soon yet. We've got another emergency job just dropped in. Okay, so we're going to stick some excess. I really should have just taken that one, but we're going to solder on some solder, funnily enough, ha ha ha. And that's going to, like that. The ground one is this one here. This is the actual VCC rail, so unfortunately we can't just flip it. Because otherwise it could have been easy to just scratch off a bit of this around here, whatever. Right. Let's see if I can actually do this. It's not gonna be easy. God damn you, fat tip. Fine. I'm just gonna apply hot air on the top sort of portion of the area. What? My wife has an accent. What? I had no idea. It's news to me. I don't think this is gonna work. It ain't no droll, mate. Well, I can't guarantee that that is actually making contact, but it's the best chance it's got. And these are just, that's just stupidly fat, that is. Steve Irwin, poor guy. I mean, he was a bit of a terrorizer for the animals, but yeah, he did well for making the world aware of animals in a different kind of way to, say, David Attenborough. You know, some people don't take very kindly to David Attenborough with his pompous voice and stuff like that, and so he had to take a different tact, and they brought out Steve Irwin. Oh crap, we've got this one there. Sorry. Oh, it's actually a resistor. It's a 0-ohm resistor. Ah. Alright. Wasn't a cap. That kind of makes that one quite important indeed. What size are you? You're a 201 0-ohm. Okay, 201 0-ohm. They're things I do keep in stock. Hey, Lethal Win. Thanks, mate. Fair income, eh? 10k, 402, 402, 402. Everything in here is probably 402s, but 201, 0M, a whole bunch of them. Several thousand, probably. From Scotland, you say? Why, you wouldn't want to be Sean Connery. Is he Sean Connery? Really isn't Scottish, though, is he? Well, I guess he is, but his accent's been modified quite a bit. Yeah, Y is also 0M. But Y is not as conformally fitting to existing pads as a proper 0M resistor is. Man, I should charge double for this job. This has been quite a... grab onto it before you blow it away. Oh yeah, Ewan McGregor. Ewan kind of ruined his career when he did Star Wars and he started going on about democracy. It was like, that is so cheesy. And of course the marvellous lightsaber stance against that 6-armed robot creature. It was just like, really? Really? You're going to do that to your career? I suppose I should give him props for being that brave or insane. I'm not sure which one it was. Okay, we better get this other phone done before the person loses their mind. Oh yeah, train spotting now, that was a better one. With him going down into that pub toilet, that was just disgusting. I had nightmares of that for a great period of time. I see Train Spotting 2 is out, but I haven't actually taken the time to watch it. Figured it's probably going to just be a complete waste of time. Still rides motorcycles. Ah. Okay, so we've got an iPhone 6. Screen replacement required. Gotta be careful with the alcohol on some people's stuff because you don't want to go dissolving their paint jobs or anything. So you do have to be a little bit cautious. Unless you want to go buying them a replacement dodgy case. Okay, see if we can get this done in about 15 minutes. We should be able to. iPhone 6s generally should be a 10-minute job, 10 to 15 minutes. Depending on how much I gas bag. And the battery is very slightly starting to puff up. It's never been repaired by me before, so it's going to be interesting. Have you got anything coming up on screen? No. Get off. Because naturally the more you rush, the longer it takes. Put in my anti-long screw damage markings, which of course take more time. Hey, there's another fancy chip over there. What the heck are you? I'll have to have a look at you because you... Oh no, it actually looks dirty. Yeah. From over where I was originally looking at it, the chip looked like it had just fallen out of a carrier strip. Well, not 400 degrees. Rubbish. Yep, refurbs. Human scum removal. This one's not so bad, but some of them can be pretty damn atrocious. Get in. Make sure the camera, yeah, see this is, that little camera ring always drifts off. Damn it. Damn it, you're gonna cost me 30 seconds on this. Yeah, because if you don't do that far too often, what will happen is you'll get it all back together and then you'll look into the camera window and realise that that little piece of foam has drifted across and is obscuring the camera, and then of course you know that you can't just give it back to the customer like that. So you have to yank everything apart again and clear it away. Because it only takes about 6 or 7 times of doing that before you realise it's something to check. Don't break the backlight cable. That's good. Where's my marker pen? Which I forgot to do on the iPhone 8. I'm actually going to verify this comes up. I don't normally do that. Yep, that's good. I don't normally do it, but because I couldn't see anything when I originally took it off, I wasn't sure whether the screen was just so badly damaged that it couldn't show anything, or whether I had a second fault at hand. Hey, Bob.
That lady came.
Yeah.
So I've already done it.
Yeah.
But she wants to know, are you able to replace the charging port on a tablet?
No.
Okay.
And the other one, this iPhone 6 that needs to be done in 30 minutes, I've just finished it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, I'll have to test it first and then I'll bring it up.
Okay, so what do I say to that lady? There's nothing you can do?
No, nothing like. Someone wants their tablet charge port fixed up and it's like, nah, it's more often than not it's trouble. I did one the other week, funnily enough, and the person has not come back for it, so I was like, pfft. Well, I'm going to see what about the battery. It's only just very slightly, it's like at the beginning of it, and I will say to him, yeah, keep an eye on it, but at this point, it's not worth replacing. We'll see how we go. If it is, then, okay, emergency. Ah, great, yeah, these things get away from the boot. Yeah, it's good. There's a charge. You can usually get actually, we're not going to get a good idea because it's at 94% charge. We aren't going to be able to tell if it's drawing full current. It responds pretty quickly. 1.2 amp. No, that's actually pretty good. Yep, no complaints about that one. This is good. Okay, done. So clean up. Okay, iPhone 8 victim here. There's my stickers. Yeah, sticker, sticker, sticker. Ah. Use a different pen. Oh no, I wish. That's one. What's the other one? It's not bad. 160. That's $300 plus the other one. That's good, yeah. $500-600 a day. And if we can get this computer working, there'll be maybe even close to 1,000 for today. Not bad for getting up on a Saturday. What's that in the center of the phone screen? Yeah, it'll be a bubble or a just a polarizing effect of the plastic. I have had people who think that it's a proper screen protector, so pretty much every time I give people the phones back, I have to tell them they must take that plastic off. It is not a protector. And if they can't hear anything out of the phone, it's because I've left the plastic on it. Alright. Now, here's hoping that this beastie actually works, because that's really the main focus of today. Yeah, more dollars for the house fund. Well, that's why it's important. Obviously I am going to ultrasonic this, but clearly at this point we do need to test it. Every single time, catch that damn flex. Okay, both of those are there. I was looking for the flex over here, but it's actually under here. There it is. Good thing I've got this on a padded backing. And there's another flex under here. I don't really need to plug them all back in, but I guess it's just part of it is securing the board as well. That's probably going to do me fine for now. Especially considering I'm going to have to enact privacy cover. Hey Swiftrick. Privacy cover, where are you? Okay, we're up to an amp. Should be beating. Oh yeah, we are beating. Yep. We didn't get a bong because the speakers aren't connected. Martin Lewis, I need to throw a fair bit more money into it. I need to create a new sanctuary for the new stray lost cats that we're encountering, so they can be rehabilitated. Yeah, why is this thing hanging on? Grant, no, I've got deionized water, and I've got a cleaning solution in there. It's not... Okay, good. Okay, that's booted. Well, it's booted, so what I'm going to do is now see if the performance is back up to what it should be, and I'm probably going to do that off camera because I need to be able to look at the screen and everything else like that. At least at this point it's booted again, nothing went bang, we didn't have any magic smoke escaping, so I'm pretty happy. I certainly haven't made things worse that I'm aware of. Okay, battery's not showing up. Let's see, we got touchpad, yeah, we got that, so we're shut down. Alright, that's it. I think we're good for the day. Can you have money for cats from charity? Cecilia, I'm kind of wondering whether I should actually formally create a not-for-profit business or something like that for the purpose of the cat sanctuaries. But I think we're probably waiting until we got something like another 2 or 3 acres of land, something like that, where we can really do a good job with it. Certainly this town needs it. There is already one person in town who is rescuing cats, you know, and rehabilitating them, but they need help, so we're going to step in as well. So I think we'll leave it at that. Yep. Alright, okay, well, I'm out of here. Thank you all for watching. I know it was a bit of a long one, but that's a pretty typical sort of chaotic day. When it happens, it all happens together. And we didn't get to try out the new power supply, unfortunately, because this is a USB-C computer. We didn't get to try the proper one. I just saw the damn thing glitch again. I'll work on that glitch, but it's not a major thing anyway. Alright, well, until next time, you'll take care. I'll catch you later, okay?